So this week's video is going to be a little bit different and a little bit shorter. It's snowing outside and really cold, so first I'll show you some welding I did outside before it started snowing, and then we'll move inside and I'll explain what you're looking at here. I'll start with the valance panel that goes over the rear barn doors on the truck. I've got it sanded and it's smooth. I've just basically got to wait until I get a nice warmish day when it's a little bit sunnier and I'm not stressed with time, and I can put this back in place. You can see here, this is what it looks like cleaned up completely. A little bit of a warp at the very end right there, but I don't think you're going to notice that when it's back in place. I think it's going to bend out pretty good. But it sanded really smooth. I'm really happy with that. So a couple of days later, it was a balmy 40 degrees, and I figured I'd give welding this thing a go. Took me a while to get decent welds going. I think probably because the truck was very cold, the metal was cold, and I just wasn't getting enough penetration in the welds. So some of the initial welds that I put in popped right back out again. I had to grind them back out, put it back in. That was kind of a drag. I persevered and got it to go mostly in. I've got the first couple of welds in on the panel, and they're going in okay, I think. I'm going to have to finesse this quite a bit to get it in. I'm going to have to push this up to get it in, but I think it's looking pretty good so far. I hit the whole backside with weld-through primer, and I'll just have to grind this stuff down as much as I can. So far, not too bad. Here's where the panel wound up. It's very cold and it doesn't seem to be welding in as well as it could. So I'm going to wait until it's warmer and then I'll come back and hit it. I'm going to have to fill in some of the sections with some putty because, you know, it bent out of shape a little bit. But I think once it's painted and sanded and painted, it'll be fine. So I'm going to leave it for now. So I put together a cardboard template for how this thing is going to go. And I think I'm just about there. I'm going to add a 1/4 inch to the back here just to bring it out away from the seat just a little bit more, because when you sit down in the seat, it compresses a little bit, and I don't want it to rub up on this thing. But it's going to look pretty much like this. The cup holders are now in place. I tested out how that works. All the measurements are good. I had to adjust the down section of this part here because my math, for whatever reason, was wrong. But it's going to sit just like that. I might put a cutout there to miss that little bolt. So just a couple of small design tweaks, and I think we're good to go. I will get this thing ordered up, finished up, and then ordered up and get it out the door. And that should be good. The other really funny thing is that I just realized I've been looking for this all over my garage. And I just realized it was in the truck the whole time. This is the clamp that goes on the filler neck for the gas tank. I'm so happy I just found this. I think it was meant to be. So let's bring this back inside. This is what it looks like outside the truck. I can have all of this bolted, I can have all of this bent and put together for me from Send Cut Send. So I think we're in good shape. So here's the prototype in cardboard format, the one that I cut out and put in just to see how the sizing would go. And here's what I got back from Send Cut Send, which is basically ready to weld together. I'm really happy with this, except for just a little bit of trimming that I'm going to need to do on the this part right here. I just got to basically round that off a little bit to account for the bend that's here. This thing is ready to be welded. All the pieces fit together perfectly. I think the only other thing I've got to do is I've got to trim maybe about a 1/4 inch off of this to account for the pipe that's going to go right here. The pipe for the seat is going to fit here, and there's going to be a hole here and a hole here that'll drill through the pipe that will be for the mounting part. Other than that, this thing is super clean. 16 gauge steel. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to bend. Here's a quick test fitting before I started putting everything together. But enough talking. Let's get to some welding. I'm just doing tack welds. I'm not going to try to get super fancy with it. You're never going to see any of these tack welds anyway. They're going to get covered up with paint. And these, I'm not going to try to get in there because I don't have a wheel small enough to basically grind these down. I might try to do that later on in the spring. We'll see. But everything else is cleaned up. And this is super sturdy. I had to do a little bit of trimming up at the top here. I had to trim that down by maybe a 1/16 of an inch. So I'll have to fix the template on this thing to account for that when I do the next ones, if I do the next ones. Overall, I think it looks pretty good. So that's going to do it for this week. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, there's a link for merch right now. Anything you buy there is money that goes right back into this truck. So I hope you see something there that you might like. And, please support the channel however you can. Like, subscribe, and I will see you next week.